For today's conversation, our mind map is titled The Magic of the Moment. So life is truly magical. Simply observe the appearances of each moment. It's pure magic. In 1912, James Allen wrote a wonderful book called The Heavenly Life to remind us that we are life itself. And in this moment, we can choose to live it heavenly. In The Heavenly Life, there's a wonderful chapter called The Eternal Now. And actually, it's part of a larger book, The Heavenly Life, called All These Things Added, in which part 2 is The Heavenly Life. In there, we see a chapter titled The Eternal Now. And today I'd like to explore some of my recent notes from this chapter with you. He says, "Now is thy reality, in which time is contained. It is more and greater than time. It is an ever-present reality. It knows neither past nor future and is eternally potent and substantial. Past and future are dreams. Now is a reality." So we know, as he also said in his other book, As a Man Thinketh, that the dreamers are the saviors of the world, and to also dream lofty dreams. So how does one reconcile the seeming paradox of dreams and the reality of now? Well, let's explore the following quote. He says, "All things are now. All power, all possibility, all action is now. Not to act and accomplish now is not to act and accomplish at all. To live in thoughts of what you might have done, or in dreams of what you mean to do, this is folly. But to put away regret, to anchor anticipation, this is wisdom." So this means living with deep engagement to the present moment from a state of flow, oriented from your vision. And I consider this a natural, authentic way of being, operating presently from a state of flow with a healthy dose of magic. Beyond boredom, allowing yourself to live how you truly desire to live through your creative expression. This reminds me of Johannes Brahms, a famous German composer. In a letter that he wrote to one of his friends when he arrived for the first time in the mountains of Austria, he mentioned that he was going for a walk in nature, and he was afraid to step on the harmonies and melodies of it. It appeared that he entered into the spirit of it by becoming deeply understanding of it, and so refused to impose his ways on nature. See, if a person is too stuck in their head, they could miss the important teachings of the environment, which provide freely to their inspiration. And that's because consciousness is one, and all is truly in harmony. In this regard, nature was teaching him about music. Now, Beethoven also enjoyed this. He was known for wandering around nature to let the ideas show up as a result. James Allen says, "Whilst we are dwelling upon the past or future, we are missing the present. We are forgetting to live now. All things are possible now, and only now. Without wisdom to guide us, and mistaking the unreal for the real, one could say, if I had done so-and-so last week, last month, or last year, it would have been better with me today. Or, I know what is best to be done, and I'll do it tomorrow. We have all power now. But not knowing this, we may say, I will be perfect next year, or in so many years, or in so many lives. The dwellers in the kingdom of God who live only in the now say, I am perfect now." So at any moment, we're either operating ideally from our vision or subconsciously identified with flow restrictors, which are certain beliefs in mind, perhaps related to shame of the past or shame in relation to the vision. Releasing these controlling beliefs or others like them, causes a person to automatically value the present moment and operate from a state of flow. For further elaboration on this, I recommend my Flow series. I'll link in the description to it. So acknowledge that all power is now and always now to be how you truly desire to be and live this way. As a result, you'll find that you'll auto-magically revise the past to be in harmony with your vision. I like that word, auto-magically. And by revise, I mean repentance, which is to literally forget. And by that, I mean not forget everything or pretend to forget. That may lead to confusion. Rather forget specifically the shame aspects in relation to the past and future, which, by the way, is also easily done through the revision process we discussed in Sunday's video. I'll link in the description to it. He says, now is the accepted time. Now is the day of salvation. And by salvation, it means simply acknowledge that you already are the ideal you desire to be in every way in mind, and allow it to automatically appear as the outer aspects of life. Simple, pure acknowledgement as he continues here. Say to yourself, I will live in my ideal now. I will manifest my ideal now. I will be my ideal now. And all that tempts me away from my ideal, I will not listen to. I will listen only to the voice of my ideal. Thus resolving, and thus doing, you shall not depart from the highest, and shall eternally manifest the true. Now this is wonderfully poetic and forever true. It represents the wisdom of the ages, summarized simply. So let's echo it again. I will live in my ideal now. I will manifest my ideal now. I will be my ideal now. And all that tempts me away from my ideal, I will not listen to. I will listen only to the voice of my ideal. And then he elaborates further on living this way in the following. He says, cease to tread every byway of dependence, every winding sideway that tempts the soul into the shadowland of the past and the future, and manifest thy native and divine strength now. Come out into the open road. That which you would be and hope to be, you may be now. Non-accomplishment resides in perpetual postponement, and having the power to postpone, you also have the power to accomplish, to perpetually accomplish. Realize this truth, and you shall be today and every day the ideal of whom you dreamed. That which is done now remains. That which is done tomorrow does not appear. It is wisdom to leave that which has not arrived, and to attend to that which is, and to attend to it with such a consecration of soul and concentration of effort, we shall leave no possible loophole for regret to creep in. So we can tell James was well-versed in the various scriptures of the world, including texts on Hermeticism, alchemy, and Kabbalah. If you study these, you'll see where they are deeply integrated into his works. Now let's explore these last few paragraphs again for deeper understanding and further clarity. 4 points. Number 1, cease to tread every byway of dependence that tempts thy soul into the shadowland of the past and future. Number 2, non-accomplishment resides in perpetual postponement, and having the power to postpone, you also have the power to accomplish. Number 3, that which is done now remains. That which is done tomorrow does not appear. Number 4, it is wisdom to leave that which has not arrived, and to attend to that which is, and to attend to it with such a consecration of soul and concentration of effort as shall leave no possible loophole for regret to creep in. You see, shame is the sin. Shaming oneself from being how they truly desire to be is the root cause of what he refers to as the byway of dependence, which is to operate from certain aspects of the shadowland, specifically that which is referred to as tempts thy soul. And so what is the shadowland in this context? Well, nothing to fear, that's for sure. It's the realm of subconscious beliefs. So for our intention today, we're interested in releasing identification to specific beliefs, not true to how we truly desire to be. These beliefs are what causes a person to not operate ideally in the present moment. They're like shackles, only for the mind. So now the ancients would say it very simply and precisely. Know thyself. To know thyself as life itself, referred to as the true self or no self, which is your sense of aliveness beyond beliefs, thought, emotion, body, or outer appearances, interconnected with them for human experience, yes, yet existing beyond them. This means you are beyond any beliefs of shame in relation to the past and future, and from that perspective, you can clearly see what beliefs have been identified with in mind, which specific to our conversation, we're bringing awareness to any shame-based beliefs that cause this tempting, as he says, to occur. Simply put, it is the belief identified with in mind that causes a person to be tempted by appearances. The appearances have no ability to tempt if the corresponding belief in mind is not identified with. A great example would be a common message that I receive from subscribers, although said differently based on a wide array of contexts, which is that they're afraid to start conversations with others. They seem to look around and see what others in the environment are doing, and from there form disempowering conclusions of what they should do next, rather than allowing themselves to do what they genuinely desire to do. And this behavior could indicate that they do not want to experience shame, which they believe would happen if others in the environment would look at them a certain way. This is, of course, occurring in their mind, which reveals the beliefs that they're identified with, perhaps since a certain point in childhood. And so then they don't do what they genuinely want to do. So they experience non-accomplishment as point number 2, which then they could further shame themselves as a result. He says, non-accomplishment resides in perpetual postponement, and having the power to postpone, you also have the power to accomplish. So thus, they are not consciously applying the power to accomplish. They are instead directing it from the shame-based belief and experiencing non-accomplishment of what they genuinely want to do. A simple solution to end this cycle by releasing identification to the beliefs in question is to respectfully start the conversation, and no matter what happens, cease the shaming suggestions, and suggest to themselves instead that they already are ideal in every way, no matter what the outcome is of respectfully initiating the conversation. Now this brings us to point number 3. That which is done now remains. That which is to be done tomorrow does not appear. See, every time you allow yourself to be how you truly desire to be, it has an impression on your subconscious mind, which becomes a habit. And I personally don't know of any greater habit than allowing yourself to be how you truly desire to be. And also a nuanced point to the second aspect of number 3, the part that says, that which is to be done tomorrow does not appear. This is literally so, as in completely true. All that appears is now. We can't imagine tomorrow to appear a certain way, yet now is what truly appears. Life appearance is now, or you could call it life experience if you'd like, is now. So this brings us to our final point. It is wisdom to leave that which has not arrived, and to attend to that which is, and to attend to it with such a consecration of soul and concentration of effort as shall leave no possible loophole for regret to creep in. Again, this is a fact. The past is purely imaginal. The future is purely imaginal. Now reveals what we are authentically imagining ourselves to be. And so this is not faking or pretending. This is reality. Now is reality. And thus it is true wisdom to pour our heart and soul into the present moment, entering into the spirit of it by being how we truly desire to be, which for me is a blissful flow, by which anything I'm involved with, I genuinely desire to be there. And if not, then I optimize, automate, delegate, or eliminate in part or in whole or in combination. And I encourage every creative to do the same. That way you can be in the moment with your art. And so life in general is art. The world is a reflection of the art of Eden, which the Garden of Eden is your mind. And thus this is true for all areas of your life. The unseen power within your subconscious mind takes care of everything for you. It simply takes what you have accepted as true, stored in the subconscious belief layer of mind, and reflects it as appearances. So I recommend consciously choosing wisely and lovingly when it comes to applying the power. And apply it now, not tomorrow, by allowing yourself to be how you truly desire to be. This is transformational. And I mean literally transformational. It changes the programming, which are beliefs in your subconscious mind, to be true and authentic with how you truly desire to be. And here's another key. You truly don't need to force yourself to creatively express. It's done for you. You simply allow. Release the unnecessary force and control which is caused by specific beliefs. Allow your intuition to give you the true answers to your questions, and allow everything else to happen automatically. Spirit animates everything ideally. Consciousness is one, and all move automatically in perfect synchronicity. He says, the universe, with all that it contains, is now. Put out thy hand and receive the fruits of wisdom. Act now, and lo, all things are done. Live now, and behold, thou art in the midst of plenty. Be now, and note that thou art perfect. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. Let's go ahead and conclude this with an auto-suggestion to further encourage. You can say, I easily and effortlessly allow myself to be how I truly desire to be. All appearances thus now reflect my true nature, which is love, as far as the senses perceive in the eternal reality of this moment. If you would like a copy of this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.